Listen, if you want to make the claim that the Democratic Party is not aggressively hiding and protecting people like Congresswoman Ilhan Omar because of her comments that can only be seen because they are anti-Semitic. If you want to make the claim they're not hiding, they're not obfuscating, they're not trying to keep you from the conversation, you can. You would just be mistaken. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC, good morning. But I would put forth to you there's a bigger problem in today's Democratic Party because it's not just the idea of Ilhan Omar. It's not just Rashida Tlaib, although she's not making it easy for anybody to believe otherwise. Wait till you hear this. It's not just the rest. It's not that Representative Ocasio-Cortez is having phone conversations with Jeremy Corbyn of the UK, a known proud anti-Semite and bigot. It is that the Democrats invited an imam to deliver the opening prayer at the Thursday session last week of the U.S. House of Representatives. Let me say clearly there's nothing wrong with inviting an imam to give the opening prayer. The imam they've invited, or they did invite, who gave the opening prayer is Omar Suleiman. And Omar Suleiman has a history longer than anything you can imagine of anti-Semitism, wishing for a third intifada or an uprising, which is to say the murder of Jews, likening Israeli troops to Nazis, wishing for the end of Zionism, when calling Zionists, people who support Israel, the enemies of God, and believes in the BDS movement, boycott, divestment, and sanction, which is an attack on Israel and utilized on college campuses and as an attack not only on Jewish students, but on Christian students, and I should say non-Jewish students in general. This guy got an invite. This guy was able to speak, to give a prayer at the United States House of Representatives. Does nobody in the Democrat Party do any amount of vetting whatsoever? Did nobody say, hey, in today's world, let's check a qualification? I was talking last week about the tactical rabbi. This rabbi who in the LA Times did a story teaching synagogues about how to be armed and trained. You know what? One of the first things I did? Check to see if he's an actual rabbi. Went to go, just let me find some sources, found the sources, said, okay, better. Going to be having him a guest on one of my shows. Nobody does any work whatsoever. This is what you invite. Don't be surprised if we think something of you in America. Which brings us to Rashida Tlaib, the congresswoman from Michigan, who was on the Skullduggery podcast there, which is done by Yahoo, Michael Isikoff, and was talking about the foundation of Israel and talking about how her ancestors suffered because of the creation of Israel. Quote, there's a kind of calming feeling I always tell folks when I think of the Holocaust and the tragedy of the Holocaust and the fact that it was my ancestors, Palestinians, who lost their land and some lost their lives, their livelihood, their human dignity, their existence in many ways have been wiped out. I mean, just all of it was in the name of trying to create a safe haven for Jews post the Holocaust, post the tragedy and the horrific persecution of Jews across the world at that time. Who in their right mind ever got a calming feeling about the Holocaust? What in the bloody hell is that? Why is it calming to the congresswoman? Is it calming because her people, quote unquote, they suffered, so it at least makes her feel good to know that Jews suffered as well? Now, if you're asking me if that's what she meant, hell if I know. Who knows what this means? Who makes the comment that the Holocaust gives you a calming feeling? But if the Democratic Party cannot accept the fact, if Democrats cannot figure out that this is a problem for them, this is an ugly, disgusting look for them, that they continue to somehow brush under the rug and tell you, me, and we that we shouldn't be paying attention, just like they hid the despicable commentaries of Ilhan Omar, they're going to do that with this? They're going to do that with who they invited to give an opening prayer? There's only so much you can brush under the rug before someone says, hey, what's with the rug? I'm Tony Katz.
As we march toward